One other thing in terms of tax planning, the agricultural community may want to look at is a conservation easement. Our conservation easement incentives expired last year by the U.S. Congress, but everybody anticipates that they will be reenacted, and they may have already been reenacted in the past month or two, although I think they're still pending in the U.S. Congress. But a conservation easement, and this isn't the best year to do it in terms of the sort of charitable deduction you would get, because as property values are diminished, the deduction value is diminished as well. But a conservation easement is a very valuable tool. You can preserve your farm while at the same time continuing farming. So you can have a conservation easement on a working farm under certain conditions. Typically those would be that you had a forest buffer, that you had streams, you had endangered wildlife, eagles, ospreys, things of that nature. And the farmer gets not only an income tax deduction, you can put it in your will and get an estate tax deduction, but they preserve their farm for eternity. Conservation easements are perpetual. Lots of farmers I know were not particularly comfortable with their local land trust. They probably don't know anybody who serves on the board of the land trust, bunch of lawyers and people like that on there. And so maybe in some future year, Farm Bureau, South Carolina Farm Bureau may want to establish their own land trust. You don't have to give a conservation easement to a land trust, but the vast majority of easements are in fact given to a land trust. And out west, I don't know that the Farm Bureau, but out west, agricultural interests have established their own land trust where they feel more comfortable with giving an easement to an agricultural-based land trust as opposed to one set up in a city. So that would, I would certainly encourage farmers to think about giving a conservation easement, and perhaps the Farm Bureau looking long-term at establishing their own land trust. Now, it's hard work to be a land trust, so it's not something that you wouldn't want to do without a lot of thought and effort, but I think long-term it would be a very good idea for the Farm Bureau.